Warning, this video shows how to make super hot pepper extract. The practice of making extract can be dangerous. Do not try this at home. If you do, don't blame me if something goes wrong. Also, did I mention it's dangerous? It's like super duper dangerous. Like pissed off 1980s Chuck Norris dangerous. Be safe. Alright, so you live life dangerously. You want to know how to make your own extract. You're like, I don't want to buy that stuff off the internet. I want to make my own. I want to know what goes into it. So what do we do? What do we need? How do we make extract? What is extract? Extract is the purest form of capsaicin. Extract it from peppers, primarily dried peppers. We have Carolina Reapers here and 7-pot yellow brain strains. What a beautiful combination, right? I know. We're going to mix those two together. How do we do this? Well, this is the backyard method, guys. This is like as redneck as it gets, okay? So I have a mason jar. I have my lid, a cap here. I have a grommet. I have tea bags, a pair of scissors, cooking oil, the kind that doesn't smoke, a pot, copper tubing, gloves, a marker. I might need that, I might not. A drill, and a drill bit. On top of all that stuff I just listed is our most important thing here besides the peppers themselves. This is our cutting agent, okay? This is our extractor. This is what's going to help remove the capsaicin from the peppers, and it's going to create the capsaicin oil, okay? It's what's going to be left behind once we remove this. I'll get more into that as we go, but as you can see, this is Everclear. It is 190 proof. This is very, very powerful alcohol. That's why I'm using it. And it's much safer. I've seen guys use like turpentine and all kinds of stuff, like just crazy stuff that I think is harmful. Since this is, you can drink this, obviously, and it has the power to extract, I think this is your best bet. So that's what we'll be using as our extractor or cutting agent today. All right, so let's get started here. Last two things that I didn't show you is a funnel and a paper plate. This project requires quite a few items. Hopefully these are things that you just have laying around your house, and I did. Most of this stuff is just kind of laying around from previous projects or whatever. So what I want to do first is I want to take these tea bags here and I want to kind of take this off without breaking the bag somehow. Okay, so we have that off. And then we want to gently remove the staple that you see there. So I'm going to take my scissors and kind of uncrimp these. All right, and I'm going to take that and I'm just going to unfold it like so. And look at that, we have a nice big capsule. You see where I'm going with this, guys? We have a nice big capsule to fill with powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie the one end and tie the other end once I fill this together. And I have a tea bag full of powder. All right, guys, so basically you take one half of the string, right, and you tie it around the end like so. Basically you take a bag, twist it, take a piece of string from the tea bag, so we're not running around looking for a bunch of extra stuff. We're using what we got. We twist that around, and we're gonna just tie a knot at the end, if we can, through the loop, grab the end, basic knot, and then just follow it up with one more knot. And that seals one end of the bag, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side when we're ready. So let's get to that. Let's get the powder in here. All right, so these are Carolina Reapers that I've dried for a few days at about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Little excessive, but I wanted them to be super dry. I don't want any moisture in these, so I don't want to grind this into a fine powder. I want this to be kind of still coarse, almost like a pepper flake. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this up, get some air out of there. And I'm going to crush these with my hands, like so. All right, so once you have, you know, a pretty fine product here, still some chunks, but it's broken up enough that I think it'll work. We're gonna add that to our bag. Now, when you're doing this, you wanna do it slowly as you add it because you do not want to block the hole there. It'll get quite annoying quite fast. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna open this up, okay, and we're gonna slowly, very slow, add that in there. Leave yourself a little room. At the top here, so you can tie it up. All right, keep tapping it through. And we're getting pretty full there. I think that's good for one bag. Kind of looks like a spicy tampon. Ladies, do not use this. I'm sure you already know that. But that's bag number one. I am going to take the string and tie it up on the top here, and we'll have one completed bag. For the next part, we got our top twisted, right? We're gonna take this string here. I think it's our best bet just to clip it off. I'm gonna take this remaining string and just go ahead and tie the top off here. And that's one completed bag. So let's do some more. All right, so bag number two, same thing. Just gently add some of this. All right, I'm gonna tie this one up and then we'll try the yellow brain strain next. Okay guys, so we have 3 bags here full of just death and despair. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our jar here. I'm gonna add these in like so. We're gonna take our Everclear right here. We're gonna add that in. And you'll immediately notice a difference in the color of the Everclear. Now apparently we might have a small leak in one of the bags. I do see some flakes. Not a big deal. I'll show you what to do about that. It's bound to happen. But the key here is to keep a majority of this stuff in there. So yeah, look at that. We already have an immediate color change in the jar. So let me show you what we're doing next. All right, so guys, so this is where your lid and stuff come in. We're gonna take our lid, we are going to drill a 1/2 inch hole into that with our drill right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my drill and I'm gonna drill a 1/2 inch hole. All right, be careful. Not the cleanest hole ever. Let me clean that up a bit. Go ahead and just kind of chop that crap off there. All right, we have a hole. We're gonna take our grommet. Hopefully it'll let me insert it. All right. Now we have a grommet in our lid. That's basically going to go over this right here, like so. Then we're going to add our lid. All right, because we're going to be cooking with a flammable substance. 190 proof alcohol is extremely flammable, and we do not want this to vapor up and catch fire. So we're going to be building a kind of still-like thing with this copper, and that is going to take the gas away from the open flame source and hopefully prevent any flashing up. So let's get over to the grill and I'll show you what to do next. Remember when I said that this was backwoods? I wasn't kidding. I have nails in the bottom of a pot here, and they're just basically going to keep this thing from air bubbles getting trapped underneath. And what I'm going to do is I am going to insert this here copper tubing, like so, right into there. Hopefully that holds. I'm gonna have to find a way to keep that in place, and then basically, ooh, I know. Okay, so our copper tubing is gonna go there, and we're gonna fill this with oil. We're gonna turn it on, and we're gonna wrap a cold towel around the end of this. I'm gonna have this drop into a bucket, and that should turn the alcohol from vapor back into alcohol, and I should be able to save it for another session. So let me get the oil and the towel and the bucket, and we'll get started. So since it's relatively cool out and we're in the shade, I have a wet towel on the pipe. I am going to add oil to the pot. That should be good enough right there. Why am I using oil? Well, oil is not going to bubble when it gets hot enough. It's not going to boil. Water, I tried last time, it just keeps evaporating and it's a pain in the butt. So this is going to get very hot. Alcohol evaporates at a pretty low temperature compared to water and stuff like that. So this should work out just fine. I am going to turn it on, and then I'm going to set up a time lapse for you guys so you can kind of see what happens, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I killed the heat. You can see that it is still boiling. That's still very hot. I'm going to try to remove this somehow. Wow, the flame is off, so shouldn't have to worry about ignition. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Okay, we're getting to the bottom of the barrel here. So we're getting close. So it's about time to transfer this through a strainer. As you can see, we did lose some stuff in there, but no big deal. We're gonna siphon that out with a strainer and then go ahead and boil the rest of this down. So let me go transfer this. So I have a very fine mesh strainer here. I am going to try to carefully pour this into there. I'm going to transfer it very fine mesh strainer. No big deal. Remove that. And we have a very clear, pure extract mix there. Look at that color. So I'm gonna get that back in the pot and we're gonna finish the job. And again, I'm outside, I'm away from the house. I have a hose at the ready. So if anything does go wrong, I'm prepared. Not a big deal for me. So you always have to be careful though. I don't advise that you try this, but I'm just sharing some knowledge that I picked up. This is how I figured out how to do this. So let's get started again. You'll notice at this point that I did not attach the copper tubing, and that's because the volume of the liquid was so low at this point, and it was very windy out, so I was not too worried about ignition. The wind does help take it away from the flames, so I wasn't too concerned. Alright guys, when ooh, that's spicy. When it starts to get down to about this point, this is when you really need to start watching it. I actually have the heat off at this point. I'm just letting the oil that's still very hot help that boil away. All right. Again, at this point, we're getting severely close. I don't know if you can see that. Not a lot of volume left there. That's pretty much extract. I'm just gonna let it go a little bit longer. Now this should thicken up as it cools, so let's just give it a little bit longer. Guys, I'm gonna call it at this point. It's looking pretty thick. It's still a little liquidy, but I don't want it to get too thick. It's gonna dry a little bit and cool, so it'll get a little thicker. But I'm gonna go get a bottle and add that in there right now. This is pretty concentrated stuff, yeah. So let me go do that. All right, guys. So this has been cooling down for about 15 minutes now, and it's gotten a little bit thicker. Now you can boil this down a little bit further if you choose to, but you add this to anything and it's going to be pretty devastating. So yeah, you can boil a little bit longer just to get it a little bit thicker, but I want to be able to pour it out of this bottle when I make a sauce, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to try to slowly, carefully, extremely carefully pour this into here. You ever wonder why extract is so expensive? Well, it takes a lot of peppers to make. I did about half a bag of each of those that I did, and that was quite a lot of reapers and quite a lot of brain strains just to make those dried powders over there that I had earlier. And in the end of the day, at the end of the day, that's about all you get. Can you see that? So, but look at that. That's how I make extract, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and cap this up because it is lethal. And mark this. Okay. Well, there it is. Extract. This is going to be really hot, and I'm going to be adding this to a sauce that I'm working on, my new sauce called Fireball. I'll have a video on that soon. I'll also be sending a couple of those bottles out to a couple of people that I know to taste test. It's going to be a fun time watching the reactions. So both these people belong to a group called the Pod People, which I also am a pod person now. It's a group on Discord. We all do crazy things. We get together, we try things. We do a burn together session where we all eat hot peppers and hang out. Very unique, very cool people on there. A lot of them are on Instagram, some of them are on YouTube, so you can go check out their videos. I'll link their channels below in the description, and maybe you can go check them out too. And if you have any questions about Pod People, you can also hit me up on Instagram. I'm the Mighty Mustache. That's the_Mighty_Mustache. and you can find me there. You can check out my content, all the behind the scenes stuff that I do, like actually picking peppers and posting pictures of peppers and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna do a little collab. Hopefully they'll enjoy this added to their sauce. Thank you so much, guys. As usual, have a great night. I'll see you next time. If it's morning, have a great morning. Day, have a great day. Whatever it is, have a great one.